Hey guys, okay, so I'm doing my full Valentine's look. It's probably going to be a little bit long, but I'm going to be thorough. So I'm super white right now, and I always look a little bit better with the tan, especially because of my freckles. So I use this little baby. It's just an airbrush spray tan. It's called Thomas. Anyway, it's just spray. I don't spray it on my face because my makeup's going to make my face a little bit darker. I just spray it down. And I try to kind of get the sides. I'm going to have my hair down, so I'm not going to see the back of my neck. I'm not worried. But I did spray that and let that dry before I'm going to go into my makeup. So I'm going to start with some Stay Spray. This is the regular Stay Spray, and I prefer this one without SPF to prime my face with. It's a little bit less sticky than the other one. So I'm just going to spray and I prime my eyes with this. Well, I prime all parts of my face that get oily, which is most of my face, but especially like down here. And I apologize about how gross this is, in case anyone's thinking that. It's like a cold sore inside my nose. Nasty. Guys, we've had so much sickness around here. I couldn't even start to tell you. So, okay. So I've got that, and that's gonna. And then I'm gonna work on my eyes first because I always have fallout, and I'm just priming them with my main highlight color. And since I kind of darkened up my neck, I can use my favorite. It's Sandy. It looks the best on my skin. It makes my face not match my neck, but it's my favorite color. And if I tan my neck just a little bit, I can totally make it work. So sometimes it makes my face not match my neck, but it's my favorite color. And if I tan my neck just a little bit, I can totally make it work. So I put an amount of highlight on my eyes, and that's just gonna kind of cancel out all the purple and all that. And then I set it with just some vanilla dust. It's just a pressed powder. And you want to make sure you set that, because if you put the eyeshadows right over the creams, it's not going to blend as well. So make sure you get it really set with powder. And then I can just dust off the rest. Okay, eye. That didn't sound good, but and I have a couple of new brushes, so I'm super psyched to use it. And to be honest, I don't know what I'm doing yet. I picked out some colors, and we're just going to go with it. So I'm going to start a color called Bubba, and it is like a really warm brown. It's a really good transition shade, and I use it most of the time. And I'm just going right in the right above my natural crease, because my eyes get kind of droopy. That was dumb. My eyes get kind of droopy, so if I go above the crease, it helps lift. Okay, now we're going in with this like magenta-y pink color. It's called Mija, and it's a really scary color in the tin, but I've been warming up to it. It can be super pretty layered. It's not one I would use on myself by itself, but layered with other colors is super pretty. So I'm just kind of going right over that Bubba color with me. Okay, I'm gonna try my new brush. It's this one. It's called the Blend and Tap. And if you don't get that movie reference, we probably aren't friends. Pause. Okay, so I'm gonna use the kind of flatter side. There's like this really dome shape, this round end, and then this one is like a little bit flatter. I'm gonna take the flatter side and go into a color called, I think this one's called You Complete Me. And I'm gonna tap it right out here in the outer corner and kind of blend it up and in to my crease. Can I miss? Oh, no. Okay, as uncomfortable as this is, I feel like it's more helpful. So, so you're gonna blend up and in like so. And I'm trying to keep this space on my lid because I'm gonna put a different color there. Okay, so now I'm gonna do the other side. tap it out here. These new eyeshadows are so pigmented. I'm almost like scared to dip again because it's like so much pigment. You just have to blend really, really well before you add any more. I can't even tell if they're even. Okay. Okay, so now we have this like pretty pink, shimmery pink going on in the outer corner. I want to deepen up my corners. I like to do the outside of my a little bit darker. So I'm taking Cocoa and I flipped my brush, so now I'm using kind of the bigger or the fluffier, what is it? The rounder end. And I'm going to keep kind of like buffing it into my lash line and then doing the same thing, but I'm not coming in as far, and I'm just barely doing this little like V shape like this. V for Valentine's, guys. Uncomfortable. This is the most angle of all time, but hopefully it's helpful. This is a matte, this one, I think I said this one's called Cocoa, right? It's like a matte cocoa colored shadow that is my favorite for my outer corner. I use this a lot. I'm playing some love songs in the background, guys, if you haven't caught on to that yet. Okay. Make sure you buff it really well. And it helps if you like lift your eyebrows. If you have like some crepiness going on your eyes right here and they're like folding over themselves, lift your eyebrow, make your eye as big as you can to be able to blend it really well and evenly. Okay, now I'm just gonna use my ring finger and I'm dipping it into this pretty color called Soulmate. It's really light pink and it catches the light so pretty, and it's nice right here on like the inside of your lid. And if you just use your finger, it keeps it so that the shimmer nice right here on like the inside of your lid. And if you just use your finger, it keeps it so that the shimmer is really, I don't know the word, pronounced. And then I'm just gonna take that same brush I've been using and blend out right around the, is really, I don't know the word, pronounced. And then I'm just gonna take that same brush I've been using and blend out edge of that. Right around the... Isn't that pretty? It's gonna look way better when my skin is done, because right now I'm like kind of a pale hot mess, but hold on, let's blend this out a little better. I have a lot of lid space like up here. So I can get away with like going really, really high. If your eyes are a little bit smaller or you don't have quite as much, use a smaller brush, like this eyeshadow everything brush. You can use the small end and do kind of the same thing with those same colors, but it won't spread out quite as much like mine is, if that makes sense. You could use a smaller brush, like this eyeshadow everything brush. You can use the small end and do kind of the same thing with those same colors, but it won't spread out quite as much like mine is, if that makes sense. Okay, we're gonna stop right there with eyes because I'm gonna do brows and then makeup under here, and then we'll finish. Okay, moving on to brows. I just kind of brush them up and out. Guys, I feel like I'm losing brow hairs. Like they're a lot thinner than they used to be. I'm taking my Know Your Angles brush and putting it into the eyeshadow Trust. It's just this dark kind of chocolate brown. I've probably done my brows a million times on camera, but you want to keep this like line a pretty defined line and then blend up into your brows as you go. Does that make sense? So most of the pigment is going to be on the bottom. The bottom is kind of like pushing up what's left into your brows. And this is my annoying brow that's always like weirdly shaped. So I add a little bit right in here at the arch to kind of straighten that out. have like one brow that's just like won't cooperate, and that's this one. I always do it first, and then like if I can get it over with, then maybe I can move on with my life. And this is my favorite brow, and yes, I have a favorite. You could also use a pencil. I really like using pencils, but I like in my compact, honestly. And I can like keep this in my clutch in my wallet with my brush, and it's like, I guess I could do that with a pencil too, but use the pencil would probably. So it's nice, it's all in one place. But a good one, I know there's a NYX one that's a good one, but I also really like, there's a Maybelline one that's a micro pencil. It's good too, and that's really annoying. Okay, so basically sort of something like that is my brows. They kind of look dark right now, but when I get my mascara and my lashes and everything on, brow will kind of not look so bold when you have everything else on. Okay, you ready for the magic? I'm taking Sandy. This is my regular highlight color. And I'm just kind of, I like to blend as I go. So I go kind of slower because I'm like constantly blending, but oh my gosh, this is like cream Photoshop. I say that every time, especially with this color. Like, if you have the right color, that ugly thing on my nose. If you have the right color of makeup, it will look like cream Photoshop. This is for sure my color. Especially in the summer, I have no problem matching. It's just in the winter, sometimes my neck is so white that it makes it a little harder to blend and look great. And you really don't have to make sure that you have this on every single millimeter of your skin because it's a cream, it's gonna blend so easy. And if you miss this spot, you probably tell. I have a lot of pigmentation, freckles, redness, so I do kind of like all over my face. But if you have better skin than me, you will tell. I have a lot of pigmentation, freckles, redness, so I do kind of like all over my face. But if you have better skin than me, you really don't. You can use it almost like a concealer, just where you need coverage. I'm gonna do a different color under my eyes, but I have a little bit of darkness, so I'm just taking this tiniest amount of Sandy to kind of correct that color. And then I'll go in with my other color. And another tip, if you don't have super dry skin, it works really like circles. I feel like it buffs the makeup into my skin a lot better. If you have dry skin, that might make your skin flake more, but I have pretty oily skin, so I'm pretty safe to do that. I'm gonna try to get her. Okay, I'm gonna move on to my contour. So I flip my brush. My contour color is called Astoria. So you can just kind of like stipple it like this, like bounce it in. Remember, right under your cheekbones. This whole side of my face is jacked. I don't know what it is, but I put my contour on it. I just struggle, and this side has like no issues. It just goes. I don't know. I really don't. This is the good brow side, the good cheekbone side. I must have a very asymmetrical face, that's all I can say. Okay. So, just kind of, I can just constantly flip my brush back and forth. I'm like blending out my contour. When I feel like I've gone too low or I need to fix the angle of it or whatever, I just flip it over and kind of erase that. The double-ended brushes are so genius. Okay, now I'm gonna do my really high forehead. And again, I just kind of blend as I go. This is gonna minimize the size of my forehead because we're making this shadow that just like makes your forehead look smaller. I've always felt like I looked so weird with my hair pulled up. I grind my hair like this, but even when my hair is down, it really helps my forehead not look so giant. Oh my gosh, and all these baby hairs are like in my way. Okay. And again, I just clean up with the other side of my brush. Do you see that? See those baby hairs? Okay, my favorite place to contour. Right here. And again, you want to stay, I always say this, but you want to stay on just the underside of your jaw. And you just make this really smooth, fluid line and then blend it down a little bit. And you have an instant jawline. Guys, you can tell from my profile, I do not have a jaw. Like, look at this, okay? It's just not something I'm blessed with. But like, look at this. How could this not be your favorite part if you had my face? Right? I'm just making this shadow that makes it appear like prominent and pokes out so far that it causes this shadow to cast on my neck. It's the most beautiful thing. And then I flip it and I clean up the edges because you don't want it to come too far up on your face. And I think people are always afraid of having like a weird line, but honestly, because it's a cream and if you blend it well, it should just look like a shadow. No big deal. Blush. Okay, moving on. I'm gonna try this super bright. It's gonna scare the crap out of you guys. You see it in the tin here. I'll show you the color. It's like this Barbie pink. It is Barbie pink if I ever saw one. Just the tiniest amount, and I'm gonna put it right here, right on top of my contour basically, and kind of on the apples of my cheeks, but keep this all clean. You don't want to come in too far with the pink. I don't know if I mentioned, but this color's called Dahlia, which are like my favorite flowers. So space, all clean. You don't want to come in too far with the pink. I don't know if I mentioned, but this color's called Dahlia, which are like my favorite flowers. So they're very short-lived, which is actually my kind of flower because that means it's less time for me to take care of it. Okay. A little bit of Dahlia brightens your face up so much. And I'm just like the lightest layers going in because you can get too much real fast. It'll blend out just fine, but you know, so as to not mess it up. Okay, now I'm gonna do my lighter color of highlight. This one's called Linen, and I use the smallest amount, like the smallest amount. I'm gonna go down the sides of my nose, under my eyes, and all the way out. Even onto this little top part of my cheek. I told you you want to keep this area clean, and that's because from blush, I mean, and that's because you're okay. Now this side. This makes a huge difference in your makeup. This is the highlighting part. You want, and to kind of balance out my face, I'll put a little bit here and a little bit through here. Look at that. Look how bright I look. Okay. I think I'm going to do a quick nose contour because I don't do it very often, and since it's Valentine's Day, let's do it. So I'm going to take a color called Shadow Contour Color, and I use this brush with the small side. I'm just going to draw this line right down the side of my nose right there. And then on the other side, I'm not the world's greatest nose contourer. I also feel like I have kind of a hard nose to contour, but I don't know. This is my favorite way to do it. Okay, see those lines? I'm just gonna slim out my nose. And I can't stand to have lines, so I do a lot of blending. Okay, now I'm gonna just use my finger and take that same light color I've been putting under my eyes. Put it right down the center. Make that line really straight. And a little bit more of that. I switched to my other brush I've been using. Right down there. There's actually more highlighting on a nose contour than there is contour. You want to make sure the sides are really light and the center is really light. And then these little lines down the side, just kind of, again, like a little bit of a shadow. Can you see how much more narrow my nose looks right now? It's magic. Okay. We're going to finish my under eyes. And I'm just going to use the eyeshadow everything brush. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of mimic the colors we did on top. I'm going to take Bubba. And then Mija. That's that kind of magenta color. I'm going to put it just kind of in the middle here. Under my iris, which is going to make my green eyes really pop. And then I take that cocoa color. That's that dark brown we did in the very outer corner. I'm just going to add that to the outer corner, mimicking what we did on top. Because we did so many colors, I'm going to leave it at that. And just do those 3 under my eyes. Those are just them. And I feel like that looks pretty good. You want to dust off any extra you got anywhere. And now I'm going to do, well, in a minute we'll do that. No, let's just do it now. I'm going to use, this is a new illuminator that I bought. That we have. It's called Photoshop, and it's a powder illuminator. So it's this pretty pink, and I'm gonna go right in the inner corner of my eye, like this. Look at how bright that is. I'm all into the pinks today. It was either pink or red, and who can eat? We're having crab legs for dinner. I can't eat that with red lipstick. Are you kidding me? Okay. So that kind of, those inner corners pop. And I'm going to just do a neutral brow bone highlight. Because I have so much pink on my lid, I don't want to put pink up here too. So I'm just going to use Sabrina. Right under the arch, basically. And this is also going to lift your eye and make it look more open and bigger. There we are, guys. Okay, we're almost done. I'm gonna do my mascara. I'm gonna do it off camera because it's so annoying. But I'm gonna show you. I'm still using the L'Oreal Double Extend, and I freaking love it because it's so gentle on my eyelashes because it comes off so easy. And right now I'm gonna put on some fake lashes, some falsies, so I feel like I don't need like a ton of buildup, which you can't really get with this. I'm gonna do that off camera. I'm gonna curl them and mascara. We are going to attempt doing lashes. I don't think I've ever done them in a video. And my lash stock is like running really low, so I really only have these to deal with today. They're Ardell Wispies. I use because these are pretty like intense. And I don't want them to cover up my pretty eyeshadow, so we're gonna try it. And if it works, it works. If not, I'll take them off. And I have some individuals I could apply. But I'm gonna show you my trick. Okay, this is what I like to do. Okay, when you're getting them off, first of all, you have to be careful because you don't wanna, you know, like these little eyelashes are kind of fragile. So what I like to do is I kind of pull up on them and then I curl, how do I explain this? Instead of just ripping them off, I kind of have to pull up from the lash band instead of just pulling them off. That's what I'm getting at. And then what I like to do is cut them. I have a hard time getting a whole strip to sit well on my lashes. So first I'm going to measure. And I don't like them to come in too far. Sorry, this is really hard to do on my phone. Maybe like that far in. So I know I need to cut off a pretty big chunk out here. So I have these little Tweezerman tweezers, and I'm gonna cut off about this much, so that they're more like an accent lash. What I'm going for. Okay, that might be okay. Then it won't cover up the pretty shimmer on the inside. So that's what I'm gonna do. If you want to use a whole lash band, what I suggest, cutting them into like thirds and applying 1/3 of it at a time. I feel like it's a lot easier to make them stick, to position them right, to keep them to stay down. When you're doing a whole lash, they tend to lift on the edges, but if you have a smaller piece to work with, it'll stick a lot better. But since this is a pretty small piece, I'm just gonna apply it like this. So I'm using my Duo Clear White Glue, and so you're gonna apply the glue, and I just try to do a pretty thin but even strip of glue. So that's a little bit thick out here. Anyway, about like that. And then you wanna let it kind of dry because you want it to get tacky. So I'm gonna let this sit for a minute. Okay, the trick to getting a really good lash application is to get it as close to your natural lashes as possible. You don't want any gap between those. And I don't like to put black eyeliner on my eye, so that means I have to get even closer. So what I'm gonna do is use my Tweezerman tweezers that are my favorite. I'm gonna hold it like this. I'm gonna zoom in so I can see. Okay, I'm gonna pull up on my lash and act down a little bit. But I can't do that right now because I'm using my phone. Okay. Really tight against that lash line. I cannot believe how hard this is in my phone. Normally it helps if you're looking down at a mirror when you do this. So, okay. So when I pull back, this is what this looks like. The only thing I don't like, I love that it is like kind of a natural looking lash out here on the outside, but I feel like this now, so I'm gonna have to build that up a little bit with mascara. So let me try that. Okay, I feel like that looks better. I just added some more mascara to my own inside lashes where the falsies are not touching, and I feel like it looks a lot better. So I'm gonna go ahead, try to apply the other one. We'll see how this goes on camera. I'm gonna get not quite so close this time. Like the glue's not quite tacky. Being impatient, which means I'm just gonna have to wait longer to get it to stick right. But as far as pretty good. You want to make sure that the end here is not drooping down. So I always kind of like lift it just a little bit so it doesn't drag your eyes down. Okay. Last step. I'm going to take my new brush, Best Blend Forever, and that Photoshop highlight or illuminator, the one that we put on the inner corners of my eyes. And I'm just going to be like, I'm like so awkward with this brush, right? Because you really want it to get like the perfect placement right on top of your cheekbones, and it's so pretty, and I'm so pink. I don't very well. Oh yeah, it's popping. Okay, a little bit of Stay Spray, and I'm like good to go, guys. Which is good because I'm gonna be late, and I really don't like this lip color. I almost forgot. Finishing touch. I'm taking some black gel liner. This is a Maybelline one. And I'm going right in my waterline. And this is going to help blend my lash band, the false with my regular lashes. And it's just going to really define my top lash line. I'm not going to go on the bottom. Some of it will transfer and that's fine, but I want to try to keep this more natural. What did I just do? Okay. Now that my Stay Spray is dry, I have to set just my T-zone with some powder. Otherwise, I'm like oily girl. Okay, my super long, but I think super pretty Valentine's Day makeup tutorial isn't terrible. It just wouldn't have been my choice with my eyes. All right, I'm gonna try a different lip color because I'm not loving that one with this lip. Oh my gosh, my eyes. I'm taking the color Nude and I'm gonna outline my lips with it. I always do a little overline down here. Okay. I'm gonna like this a lot better. It was just a little bit too pink. Okay. So this is add a little bit of that really light pink. The color is called Petal. I'm gonna put that right in the middle. And then you guys know how I love my rose gold. And I like to do right on that, like, I don't know what you call it. Kind of turns up. A little bit on your Cupid's bow right there. Okay. I think this looks mucho mejor. Okay, and I like this color, but my lips feel a little bit too matte. I have to have like a heavy gloss. So I have this NYX one, this butter gloss. This is the color Creme Brulee. It's a really good nude pink. Okay, my hair's going flat. It's because it's raining outside. Anyway, that's my Valentine's look. And let me know what you guys think about it.